Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. I am so incredibly pumped you're joining me today because we've got a seriously fascinating topic to unpack. We're going to be diving into a recent, highly publicized interview with the ultimate 1990s pop culture icon, Vanilla Ice. The big topic? His decision to perform at the upcoming America 250 events, right in the middle of some pretty major political boycotts from other entertainers. So let's just dive right into this, because what we're about to explore is a surprisingly structured, steadfast philosophy from an artist you might only associate with, catchy 90s hip-hop. We're going to break down his perspective and see exactly how he views the whole intersection of entertainment, politics, and patriotism. Right out of the gate, let's look at his core thesis. I'm a musician, we're supposed to bring people together. Honestly, this single sentence is the bedrock for everything Vanilla Ice argues throughout the entire interview. While all the discourse surrounding these events is heavily political, he just strips it all back to what he sees as his fundamental job description. He doesn't see himself as a pundit, he doesn't see himself as a politician, he sees his role as a unifier. So keep this idea in the back of your mind as we go, because it's absolutely the lens through which he views all the controversy surrounding these upcoming celebrations.
Section 1. America 250 and the Boycott.
Okay, so let's set the stage for why this conversation is even happening in the first place. The context here is the upcoming 250th anniversary of the United States. We're talking major celebrations, including huge performances at the Great American State Fair. But these events have actually become a bit of a lightning rod for political controversy, and it's created a stark divide in the entertainment industry. You've got entertainers taking two very different paths right now. On one side, as the interviewer points out, you have musicians like country star Martina McBride, who are choosing to boycott the event entirely. They're just not showing up, which reflects a specific stance on the current political climate. But then, on the exact opposite side, you have Vanilla Ice's approach. He explicitly states that just getting the invite is a huge honor. He looks at the event purely as an opportunity to celebrate the country's 250-year milestone, totally separate from whatever political winds happen to be blowing at the moment. Now, when he's asked why he looks at it that way while others don't, Vanilla Ice points straight to the folks who actually got the country to this point. He specifically rattles off the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and the Space Force, along with domestic first responders like police, EMS, and firefighters. For him, showing up and performing is a necessary way to pay respect to these groups, and he feels that kind of gratitude just completely transcends any partisan politics.
Section 2. Music as a universal language.
Building on that idea of honoring the country's history, his next point dives into the fundamental nature of music itself. Vanilla Ice makes a really passionate case that politics and music mix like oil and water. He captures it perfectly in this quote, "You don't get a choice to pick your fans, they pick you." He argues that music is, by its very nature, completely universal. It has no race, no religion, no policies. During the interview, he actually brings up Bob Marley as the ultimate example of this. He notes that Marley's music cuts through every single societal barrier. Whether you're a hardcore metal fan, an opera lover, or a hip-hop head, everybody loves Bob. Vanilla Ice believes entertainers who boycott are kind of forgetting this basic principle. The music belongs to the listeners, no matter what their political alignment might be. To really back up this point about music crossing all boundaries, he drops some incredibly fascinating examples of his past gigs. He points out that he's played for some of the most highly polarizing global figures in the world, and in some incredibly controversial regions. We're talking about playing for Russian leaders like Boris Yeltsin and Vladimir Putin, performing in Iran and Iraq, and he even highlighted an indirect connection to North Korea's Kim Jong-un through his travels with Dennis Rodman. Now, he doesn't state this as some kind of political endorsement of these figures. Not at all. He uses it as empirical proof that, as an entertainer, you go where the fans are. The music is the neutral ground. Section 3. The 90s Nostalgia Mindset. To really wrap your head around Vanilla Ice's remarkably stress-free approach to these super heavy topics, you kind of have to understand the era that defines him. He uses the 1990s as way more than just a marketing tool. It's literally the cultural lens for his entire worldview. When the interviewer asked him why the 90s was the best decade, he gave this incredibly blunt, wonderfully eccentric answer. Before the computers ruined the world. He expanded on that, saying the 90s were great simply because people didn't take things too seriously. He literally asks, how can you take anything serious from the 90s? For him, bringing that lighthearted, pre-internet, unserious energy into today's tense political climate is exactly what society needs right now. Section 4. Lightning Round Fast Facts. So, about halfway through the interview, the host brilliantly shifts the energy to this classic MTV-style rapid-fire lightning round to get to know him a bit better. We're going to mirror that fast-paced energy right now and see how his pop culture persona mixes with his personal life.
First question right out of the gate. Who is the favorite singer Vanilla Ice is listening to right now? You might expect a classic 90s hip-hop artist, right? But his answer actually shows he really keeps up with modern pop. The answer? Bruno Mars. It's punchy, it's upbeat, and it's universally popular, which perfectly aligns with his whole philosophy of making music that just makes people want to get up and dance.
Next up, sticking with that America 250 theme, what is his favorite 4th of July food? Sweet or savory? Well, surprisingly enough, he reveals he's actually a vegetarian, but he admits he will absolutely cheat on his diet on the 4th of July specifically for pie. And he was very, very particular about the pronunciation. He made sure to note that it is pecan pie, not pecan. Just a really funny, highly specific culinary detail from the Iceman. Then the interviewer bridges his pop culture world with politics by asking, which president, dead or alive, would he choose to have dinner with? He answers Donald Trump, and he points out that this wasn't just a hypothetical scenario. He actually has had dinner with him down at Mar-a-Lago. Oh, and staying totally true to that last fact, Vanilla Ice made sure to remember and mention that he ate the vegetarian meal and that it was delicious. Again, he's just neutrally sharing his personal experiences when asked. Okay, let's move to the ultimate modern pop culture hypothetical posed by the interviewer. If Taylor Swift gets married on the 4th of July and she asks Vanilla Ice to perform, what song is he doing? His choice is absolutely hilarious and perfectly unbrand. He says he'd break out the ninja rap. Yes, the iconic song from the 1991 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Why? Because it would get them dancing so fast. It's just a brilliant reminder of his commitment to that unserious 90s nostalgia we were talking about earlier. Finally, the lightning round wraps up with a classic hip-hop urban legend. What is the biggest rumor about him that simply isn't true? He directly names the infamous rumor that legendary record executive Suge Knight once hung him over a hotel balcony by his ankles over a financial dispute. Vanilla Ice flatly denied it, stating definitively that it simply didn't happen. Section 5. A final patriotic message. Okay, let's take a breath and slow the pace back down for a second. After the rapid-fire trivia and the heavy political discussions, the interview concludes by grounding us in what actually matters most to him today. Beyond the stage, his real priority is being a great dad. He has 4 kids, and he explicitly states that he enjoys their world far more than the entertainment world. I think this beautifully contextualizes everything we've learned in this explainer. The reason he doesn't take the entertainment industry or the political boycotts within it too seriously is because his real life, his grounded life, revolves around his family. Which leads us to his final message to the viewers for the 4th of July and the America 250 milestone. He calls America the greatest country in the world, and he frames this 250th birthday as a true once-in-a-lifetime event. His final piece of advice, put your dancing shoes on and let's all come together and enjoy the celebration. It's just a perfectly consistent wrap-up to his entire thesis. Ignore the noise, honor the milestone, and use music to unite. And that brings us to the end of our explainer. But before we go, I want to leave you with a provocative question to chew on. Should music always be separate from politics, like Vanilla Ice so strongly argues? Or do entertainers actually have a moral responsibility to use their massive platforms to take a stand, just like the boycotting artists believe? It's a really complex tension between art as escapism and art as activism. Thank you so much for learning with me today, and as always, keep questioning the world around you.